Hello my YouTube friends, it's Richard, founder of Short-Term Rental University and Airbnb Superhost. Today's video is going to help you really be more profitable, but instead of focusing on revenue, which is like 90% of what we talk about on this channel and in every forum, we're going to do the opposite, and we're going to do something that you can actually control yourself. So we're going to talk about 3 things you can do to lower your expenses and boost your profitability. So a good business practice is to renegotiate all of your vendors and all your contracts, like annually, review them. Just because it's been set in the past doesn't mean that prices go down. A lot of things, prices go up, but the beautiful thing is commodities tend to go down. So I pick a time generally during slow season, which start of the year, January is a slow season for me. It's a good time for me to do all this, and then it gives me the whole run rate for the rest of the year. So what I do is I call all of my different utility companies and I tell them, hey, I'm looking at my bills, this is a business, I need to cut some costs. I might have to cancel altogether or whatever, reduce the service, whatever it is that you need to do, and just get their take. Most of the time they have an incentive program to keep people. In fact, most of these utility companies have like a customer retention division, and they may actually transfer you to a different division, and that division, all they do is renegotiate deals with people that are cutting. So you have to call up and threaten to quit in order to get to that division, and then they probably have like just like you got a promotion when you signed up, if you sign up for 12 months, we'll give you this deal. Many cases, once you're at the right division, speaking of the right person, they have a retention package. And so to keep you for 12 months, they'll sweeten the deal this way and they'll lower the cost that way. And that's all profit. Okay, guys, listen. Charles just listened, like we stopped, and then he told me his story. So come over here, and I know that you don't really want to like do this, but go ahead. Yeah, it's okay. Here, mic up. Go ahead. So what did you just do?
So the deal was I switched from Time Warner Cable to Fios. And what they forgot to mention to me was they added on like $35 in fees every month. So I called them up. I threatened to quit. I hadn't heard that from you, but that's what I did. I was like, I think I'm just going to go back to Time Warner Cable. And just like that, they knocked off $30 to $35, and now I only paid $95 a month for cable and high-speed internet.
Blazing fast internet.
Blazing fast, like 500 up, 500 down. So
one phone call, you save $35 in the month.
Yeah. I mean, they just instantly took that off. It wasn't even a question to them. They were like, yeah, I can take it off.
Boom. Do it. Don't listen to me. Listen to this good-looking guy. So look, speaking of cable, here's a good time to talk about. Cable is a dying technology. It's used less and less by fewer and fewer people. I'm not telling you that you should cancel cable. I still have cable in every one of my homes, and there's one reason. I'm addicted to CNBC. So like when I stay at a hotel, I ask if they have CNBC, but I'm the exception. I'm not the rule. I'm that old dinosaur that actually really cares. So don't cater to me, cater to your people. If you have a great place and it's filled with younger people or millennials or camping or outdoor stuff, and people are never watching cable, that's like $100+ per month that you can easily save. That's $1,200. You do that for 10 years, that's $12,000, plus all the investments that you're making on top of it. So don't just like set it and forget it. Take a look at what your monthly expenses are. You have everything in the bookkeeping solution, whether it's Quicken or Xero, or you do it in your own spreadsheet. Decide whether to keep it or kill it or renegotiate it. So the third and final one is like really where I started. I want to set the record straight. I want you to take a look at every single amenity that you offer, from like the wine to the cheese to the robes. Doesn't matter what it is. Everything that you put into your place, I want you to just take a look at it with a fine-tooth comb and assess how critical it is and whether you could save some money there or not. Now, if you have a really killer space and it's $1,000 a night and you can leave a bottle of wine that's like in your cost of goods, it's not really going to matter, and people might expect it at that price point. But if you're doing something like shared room and $50 a night, obviously you can't afford to leave a $5 or $10 bottle of wine, and you might say, well, I leave $2 whatever it is at Trader Joe's, like $2 chuck. Okay, that's better, your expenses are down, but maybe it's inappropriate altogether. And so what I want you to do is take a look at all of your recurring expenses, from the gifts and the hospitality and the amenities and all the stuff that you put out, the welcome basket, and see what the true costs are. And so we riffed on this in the Facebook group, and I think it was actually pretty helpful to a lot of people. Like for me, this is the way my brain thinks. It was evident that a lot of people just don't have that same sort of like mindset or exposure. So let's talk about it. The example that we were going on in the Facebook group was about robes. Somebody went to Costco, they have a hot tub, they bought 6 robes, and they were saying it was only $15. That's great. That's the purchase cost. The recurring cost is what might kill you if you don't either charge the right cleaning fee, increase your cleaning fee, or you just like absorb the cost and you don't think about any of these things. So let's talk about the cost of these robes on a recurring basis. The obvious one is 6 robes are going to take an entire washer and an entire dryer. So there's a whole extra load. Okay, so what's involved in an extra load? More detergent, more softener, more electricity, more gas. How about this? Wear and tear on the appliance. An appliance has a useful lifespan. Maybe it's 1,000 washes or 10,000 washes. If you're doing one additional wash after every single turnover, your washer and dryer are going to last lower. So there's a cost to that. How about the supplies? Detergent, fabric softener, they're not free. You have to add a cost to that. Oh, and how do you get them? You drive to Target or Walmart. Okay, there's a cost to that. There's the wear and tear on your car. There's the time that it takes you to get there. So like these are all these hidden costs that people just don't necessarily think about. And I'm not saying you have to think about them. Again, if you love doing it and it's baked in and you've got a right cleaning fee and so on, like then go ahead and do it. But if you haven't thought about it or you haven't increased your cleaning fee and you're just like saying, I'm doing this now, isn't this great? It's going to get me more revenue, more bookings. No, it's actually not going to get you any more of that. All it's going to get you more of is expenses. So if you're going to do all that and you haven't increased your cleaning fee, maybe bump it up $5 or $10, per turnover, and that might cover it. And then you have the robes and the hospitality component, and they're paying for it, not you. So that's my point. Just take a look at everything that you do. Think about all of the different hidden expenses. Make sure you value your time. Your time is not at zero. Every single thing that you do for this business or anything else, put a price tag on your head. And I would say if it's not $15 or $20 an hour, you're way underestimating your price. You're probably worth a lot more than that. And if it's not worth your doing, then outsource that too. In closing, recognize this. We spend 90% of our time thinking about revenue, and the reality of it is there's not much we can do about it. When we list on platforms like Airbnb and HomeAway and so on and so forth, they have their own algorithms. They sometimes put new people at the top of the list and Superhost at the bottom, and sometimes they mix it up. So like there's not much you can do there. We want to have the best listing possible, but focusing on revenue is not something that we can actually control. Expenses, however, are entirely in our control. Nobody is forcing us to spend a cent. So if we spend enough time and energy thinking about our costs and our expenses, that's how we can improve our profitability. And since we're all doing this for the long term and to reach our why, again, that why for me is my 15-year plan, I have the best chance of getting to my 15-year plan by minimizing my expenses and knowing what they are and tracking them using bookkeeping software and so on, so that I get to my why. I hope you found this video helpful. I'd love to hear what you do, what expenses you cut. Please go ahead and comment below, because again, we're a great community, and the more we share, the more we learn. I'm just one guy. You guys are thousands with lots of experience and lots of great advice. So tell us how you save money. What expenses should we minimize? Let us follow you. We'd really appreciate it. We're grateful. And with that, I'm going to ask you kindly to please subscribe to the channel.